Hey, up next on the Marmy Rock Show, we've got Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania band Unparalleled Height vocalist Dave Kelly joining us on the show. Dave, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me on. It's an absolute pleasure, man.
Man, as I've been getting ready to do this interview with you, I'm getting more and more excited about your band, like the little nuances and stuff I'm starting to learn about you guys. So let's talk. You've got a full-length album out called Rise of the Voiceless. You've got a new single out called Embrace Storm. So tell us, the first thing I want to ask you about, Embrace the Storm has made a big splash in the MMA world. So why don't you tell people about that?
Yeah, it's actually pretty awesome. It's kind of cool because, I've always been a fan of MMA myself, and a lot of the guys in the band have too. And recently we signed with a management group, and the management agency works closely with this TV licensing company, and they've been able to get the song on for the fights. So the first time it happened, it was awesome because the song was actually played like when the one fighter came out. And the fighter ended up kicking the other dude's ass, so it was really cool. But yeah, so basically he's gotten it placed in there twice. That's, nice thing with getting management is we've had new opportunities arise out of that. And yeah, it's been really cool to see that song in the fights and stuff. It's really cool.
Now, did you guys make an event out of that? Was it a deal where you knew when it was going to be played, you all huddled around the TV, or was it just you weren't sure when it was going to be on exactly?
Well, yeah, so it was confusing the first time because the way that World Series of Fighting actually does their fights on NBC Sports is they have, and UFC I'm pretty sure used to do this too, they have some of their fights, like the non-main card, like the undercard fights, on the internet, and then they have the main card on TV. And since it was the first time that we were getting it done, our manager was like, look, it'll be in the undercard, so we'll have to watch it online. And I was like, and I was still thrilled because they had a lot of viewers. Actually, the site that it was being streamed on crashed because there were so many people watching the fight, so that was good. And yeah, we were all together watching it, and when it popped up, it was an incredibly exhilarating feeling. And then, like I said, the guy who went out there, I'm drawing a blank on the name who it was. He went out there and ended the fight in like 15 seconds. So we felt very proud that maybe we had a slight little hand in how that fight went.
You have to keep track of that record, or if people start figuring out they win when they play your tune, it might get played a little more for them.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, we'd be like, hey, listen, everybody's winning when they're listening to our stuff. But yeah, I don't know what happened because it got played Friday night too. Like I said before, I had some stuff come up, so I wasn't able to see it, and I'll have to ask the guys, though. I know a lot of them are watching it, whether or not the guy won or not, because, hey, maybe we're 2-0 or 1-1, but either way, I'll take it.
So, Embrace the Storm has a music video out as well. Now, tell us a little bit about the making of that video. What is all that stuff blowing around, actually, in that video?
Okay, so like the whole, first of all, I have to say, Josiah Moore, who directed the video, is an incredible director. He really is the one that helped bring the thoughts that were in our minds when creating Embrace the Storm to life. And basically, we wanted to capture a dark feeling in the video. Because it's weird though, because our band ourselves is very positive and uplifting lyrically, and that song is about being stuck in a certain rut in your life and basically embracing it and waiting for good days to come after that. And we told Josiah that, and he's like, oh, okay, maybe I can get some rain and stuff in the video. So that stuff you see blowing around and everything it's supposed to resemble rain. And the making of the video was a lot of fun, honestly. He captured exactly what we wanted vibe-wise, and he was able to put it in the video. So I have to give the credit to him on that. But he's just great at his job. I mean, he's done so many good videos.
Now, I haven't had a chance to see you guys live yet. I'm somewhat new to your band. Give us a little bit of the history of the formation of the band. How long you've been around? And I know you got the one full-length album. So give us a little short history.
So, yeah, we formed in 2011, but we didn't really start getting very serious until about 2013. In 2011, to 2013, we actually played a lot of covers live in the local area of Avenged Sevenfold, Bullet for My Valentine, 3 Days of Grace. And then we had a couple of our own songs, and we recorded an EP, I want to say it's April 2012 and released it in that summer. And the reason that it started getting more serious is because once we released the EP, we started growing a lot just on social media and stuff because people seem to like the music a lot. So we started saying, like, all right, well, people are liking what we're doing. Like, we should start taking this a little bit more seriously. So we started, then we went and we wrote the Rise of the Voice album that you touched on. But the thing was weird about writing that album was Tyler, who's a guitarist, one guitarist in our band, actually is in the Marines. So he was away the entire time we were writing that album, and we didn't have a bassist at the time, so it's just three of us writing the album. And the thing that I regret somewhat about that album is not having the whole band around to write it, because with the upcoming album that we'll be releasing next year with Embrace the Storm on it, the whole band was there for it, and we like wrote it collectively, jamming it out and stuff, and I feel like it's much more of a collective sound and representation of who we are as a band. I'm still very happy with Rise of the Voiceless, but I think this next album is much more of like our stamp as like this is who we are and this is what we're going to be moving on towards.
So you mentioned Tyler being in the Marines, and you kind of touched on this a little bit. One of the notes I made that your song lyrics have a real positive overtone, and an overtone I wrote is strength and spirit. Does that come from in any way his service, or is that a mentality of the whole band?
Yeah, that's the mentality of the whole band, actually. We've always been like that, even before Tyler was in the Marines. Tyler's actually in the Marine Reserves, which is really cool and very commendable. I think he has maybe like 2 years of service left to the Marines. And, yeah, I think it just embodies all of us as people. It's not just something we write and like move on from. Like we embody that in our lives. Like a lot of us are into like, health and like fitness and stuff like that. And it's just an attitude that we have everywhere in our lives. And, we think that there's enough negativity in the world, whether it be in the media or anywhere else for that matter, and because of that, we want to be like, you know, different and differentiate ourselves and be positive, because there's enough negativity in the world, so you sometimes need a positive voice every once in a while.
Now, you mentioned Avenged Sevenfold as being a band you used to do covers of, and I took a little of your voice, reminded me a little bit of Shadows from Avenged Sevenfold. So who did you get trained formally to sing, or is that just something you woke up one day and said, wow, I can do this?
Yeah, actually, it's funny you mention that, because Avenged is one of our big influences. I don't think there's any hiding that. They're, you know, the bands that we started covering originally ended up being like our influences with our own writing. Yeah, I'm not formally trained in any stretch of the matter. I took guitar and like lessons when I was younger, but at one point, like, you know, we were all jamming around. I was playing guitar in the band, and everybody's like, all right, well, somebody's got to sing, and somebody's got to scream. So I kind of was like, well, I could do it in my bedroom or in the shower, but I don't know if I can do it on stage. And the guys were like, you know what, just give it a try, practice for a couple weeks, and we'll see how it goes. So I started doing it, and to be honest with you, I was terrible at this point in time. Like, this was probably 4 years ago. And I'm like, you know, I don't know if I could do this. But what I did was, I would practice to my favorite songs, like Avenged Sevenfold, Boyfriend Valentine, and I would just constantly do it. And I learned sort of their techniques, essentially, and that's how I started. And then once I started, I was like, all right, I'm not doing this stuff right. And I went out and I actually got this, I started studying under a vocal program called the Isolation Method by a man named Jamie Vandera. He's an excellent vocal coach. And I started doing that. But I still taught myself everything from his program. And basically, I've learned that way. And I think I made a massive leap between the Rise of the Voiceless album and this upcoming one. There's so much stuff on this album that I could have never done in the past, just because my technique wouldn't have allowed me to. And I really like broke my technique down and fixed it, and I'm very happy with the vocal performance that will be coming out with this album.
Hey, so you guys went on a tour this summer, which looked pretty cool. Tell us a little bit about this past summer tour.
Yeah, we did, you know, honestly, we did a little less than we would have liked to. We booked it all of ourselves, and the dates that we did went well. But you know, we want to get to more of the country and stuff. And I mentioned earlier, you know, we've had a lot of like success with like social media and stuff, and our fans have just grown like a ridiculous amount, and they've grown like all over the world for that matter. So once we finished the album, we went and we now got management, which is going to help us, you know, be able to get to these fans and stuff. And I'm so excited for that, because We have people all over the place we want to get to. And of course, also we want to grow our fan base too, and touring is the best way to do that. So, I'm happy with how the summer went to some extent, but I also know there's a lot more to be desired on our end for touring, and I know our fans' end as well.
Now, you mentioned your fan base. It looks like they helped you kind of fund your first tour vehicle. Is that right?
Yeah, they did, actually. They did a great job of that. That's, I have to commend them because, without their support, I don't care if it's the vehicle or tweeting the video out, without any of that stuff, we literally would be nothing. We'd be this Pittsburgh, PA band that's just in this area. And because of them, we have listeners, and I think I looked up the analytics on Twitter and stuff and YouTube. We have listeners in almost every country in the world except for maybe 10 countries, which is incredible. And, without them, we wouldn't have that touring vehicle. Without them, we wouldn't have this management now. So they are so much to credit for our success, and I love all of them, and they're just great supporters.
So it's kind of cool that, I love all the bands that you guys are influenced by, Bullet, Avenged, but what's kind of strange is, you have one cover tune that really bubbled to the top, is real popular, which was Cowboys from Hell as a popular cover. And it seems just, it's not different in style, but it is a little bit. What made that tune so popular for you guys?
Yeah, I think that came out of our, desire to be a true metal band. So there's a lot of bands out there right now who are more or less metalcore or metal this, metal that. We want to be a metal band, and when we think of metal bands, we think of bands like Pantera, Metallica, Megadeth, the classic metal sound. And what we want to do as a band is take that classic metal sound and make it modern. And, influenced by bands like Avenged and, these bands like that. Even like Iron Maiden, bands like that. And the reason we chose to do Cowboys from Hell is because we're okay, Pantera, when you think of metal, you think of Pantera. That, Pantera and Metallica are up there. And we said, we think our style fits really well with that. So we're okay, this is a great song to play live, too. So we started actually playing that song live. And they're you know what, if we're going in the studio to do an album, we might as well do a cover of it. We've been told we do it really well. Let's just lay a cover down of it. So we did that, and then really the only difference we did with the song was we dropped the guitars down an entire step, and then I did my vocals a little bit differently. Other than that, the song's pretty much exactly the same. CJ did a little bit of his own improv on the solo, but it's pretty much the same, and that's the way we wanted to do that cover, though, because we felt like that song is so trademarked in a way that, no other song is. There's not another song like that one. So to take it and make it, our own kind of thing, I think would have been a little bit disrespectful in a way. So we wanted to kind of just pay tribute to the bands that have come before us and allowed us to even have a chance at doing what we want to do.
Hey, you mentioned guitarist CJ. There's a pretty cool Star Wars video floating around with him in it out there, isn't there?
Yeah, it's actually really funny you said that. I went and saw the movie last night, and all I could think of while I'm seeing that movie when the theme song came in is that video. Believe it or not, the guys who produced our album, they have had quite an eventful end of 2015 here. They released that video on Thursday, I want to say, and it's already up to 5 million views. They just started that page, and it's up to 42,000 likes on that page in a matter of 3 days. And they're also a band, I'm not sure if you're familiar with August Burns Red. They're up for a Grammy this year, and Grant and Carson, our producers, produced the August Burns Red album. So now they're Grammy-nominated producers, and this all happened within a span of a month for these guys. That's a crazy turn of events, and I'm so happy for them, and I'm really happy for CJ as well. With being in the video. He's not actually in the band itself. He just was helping them out with the music video. And he got pretty lucky, I would say. But yeah, so there's actually another kid in the video that we're adding to our band, but I'm not going to say whose name it is yet. But yeah, we're adding another member to the band, and we're going to be announcing that at the beginning of 2016.
Well, we'll stay tuned for that, man. And hey, man, it's been really good getting to know you. It's been Dave Kelly from Unparalleled Heights. They're from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Their new single, Embrace the Storm, is out. And if you're watching MMA fights, you just might hear that one introducing what we think might be a 2-0 record, quite possibly, for their fighters. So, Dave, thanks for being here on the show.
Oh, no problem, man. I really enjoyed it. You can find us if you want to learn more at Twitter at UPH_official, Facebook.com/Unparalleled Height, and as you were saying before, our music's on iTunes, Spotify, all that good stuff. So come and talk to us. We love talking to people, and thanks again for having us on.
Hey, Dave, man, thanks a lot for being here.